1, 2, 3. Action. No, I feel like it's action. Action. Okay. Welcome back to my channel. Here we are. I'm Courtney LaCorte. This is my husband, Chris LaCorte. You may recognize him. Most people think he's actually a chef, but alas, he's actually a songwriter, producer by day and a cocktail maker by night. This man makes the best old fashioned I've ever had.
Unless she's making it, because she makes it a little different than I do.
I make it a little bit better than he does.
Or
That's
very,
fine. It's fine.
That's debatable.
To be determined. Okay, so this is Chris's old-fashioned recipe. I just tweak it a tiny bit to make it to where I like it a little bit better. You wanna just let's talk to the people. What do we need?
So this is actually an interpretation from a songwriter buddy of mine, a guy named Corey Crowder. Wildly talented, but who knows, or who knew he actually had an amazing old-fashioned recipe. So we are starting with a good bourbon. You have to have good bourbon. This is one of my favorites. It's called Elijah Craig. You can find this pretty much at any liquor store, which you can't say that about a lot of bourbons because a lot of bourbons are hard to find. It's really popular.
He likes this
This one is extremely high quality. Most important, it's 94 proof. So we have a little more proof than a lot of what I would say a weaker bourbon, maybe like an 80 proof. You need the bourbon that can kind of stand up and cut through the sweetness and the bitter and all the beautiful flavors we're adding. You want it to hold its own.
So proof means lots of alcohol, right? It's
Alcohol, yeah.
I mean,
how much alcohol is in it?
proof means alcohol.
Right.
Got it. Roger that.
So,
Okay,
Elijah Craig.
First things first, let's go through everything that we need to make this cocktail.
Yeah.
We need the bourbon. Mm-hmm. Also need, you can say, I can never say this. What do you have? Angostura.
Angostura bitters. This is just their plain one. It's not the orange ones. Yellow cap is what you were looking for.
Okay.
We also have the special Woodford Reserve Spice Cherry bitters. These add
so
a little bit of that beautiful cherry
Well,
element.
the cherry really comes through, which is why I like this old fashioned. I normally don't like old fashions. I like
Right.
mine very cherry forward.
And these are bourbon barrel aged, so you're getting a little more of that kind of those woody flavors that we're getting with the bourbon already. Also, instead of what could be classic, I guess a lot of people would use sugar cubes or simple syrup. We're actually using maple syrup. I like it because we incorporate a little more of the wood kind of flavors. So it's just incorporating in all of our ingredients, sneaking it
I feel like
in
it's
there.
more seasonal. I feel like during the summertime we'll do the simple syrup, but like winter it's cold.
Yeah.
I'm inside with shawl on. I'm cozy coastal grandmother. You know what I'm saying?
And if it was up to me, we would have our beautiful big ice cube here, some orange peel, and that's it.
No. You need 2,000 cherries.
Wow.
And it's important that they're 2,000 Amarena cherries. I really just could snack on those by themselves. So, okay, what do we do first?
All right, well, making my recipe, which I guess yours shares a
We're doing
lot
it
of the
together.
same
Yep.
steps. We are going to start with 2 ounces.
No, I thought that was the second part. You
know
always
what?
did this
You're right.
part first.
You're right. You're right. You know what? Look, she can check me every now and then. We have to start with the bitters. So,
I could hear that against the music. Fine.
so we're going to start with 1 dash, which is, quite a broad statement. But for me, it's just, you want me to do it in both of them? You want to do your own? Or you want
do
me to do
yours
both
and
of them?
I'll do mine. This
Okay.
is a his and hers old-fashioned
Okay.
cocktail.
Well, I'm over here. Don't mix it up, all right? All right, so 1 dash of Angostura bitters. I'm just going to kind of give it one little nod like that.
It's a flick of the wrist. It's a...
Oh, okay. You do you, girl. Next, we're going to add our our spice cherry bitters. I guess it could be made out of wild cherries.
So good.
About one
Full
full,
dropper.
dropper full. Just going to add that to the pile.
And guys, I'm going to link all of this in my caption area to where I get most of this from Amazon. You can just click on over and get everything that you need to make this recipe.
All right, and now we're going to add our bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. You could use a normal maple syrup. I recommend just getting the highest quality you can. But like I said, the bourbon barrel aging is going to add a little more complexity. We're going to do 1/2 ounce. So I have a 1 and 2 ounce sugar here, so I'm going to go about half the amount, which is higher than you think on this. And we're going to add this straight in here into our glass. Court, how much do you do?
Well, I don't even need this. It's a feeling, really.
We're really confident,
Felt
aren't we? I've seen how that one works out before.
It's so rude.
All right. Now we need to stir. So all those liquid ingredients, we need to just kind of mix them up, get them all gelling together.
Incorporated.
I learned, and this is a fancy mixing spoon, thanks to our friends from Elijah Craig. I've learned if you're not good with, there's like a technique to doing this
Julia.
thing. You could use a normal spoon too, honestly, but we just like to elevate things around here.
We just learned via Julia. If we are not good at stirring, which we are not, use the bottom.
You can use the bottom. So I just want to make sure, and I'm just kind of spinning here, spinning my ice cube, kind of making sure I'm on the bottom and just getting everything mixed up really, really well. And in this case, instead of, using actual sugar crystal like some people like to use, we're using maple syrup. It's already liquid. It's going to mix really easily. It's going to be really consistent.
You can see it.
You're doing great, babe.
It's flowing.
Technique looks really good. Yep.
You know what?
that many times, huh? Yeah. Oh.
Chris
okay.
LaCorte. You're on the couch tonight. Next. Just kidding. Burbs.
Well,
Now,
how much?
you do 2 ounces. So we do 1.5 of these, right?
No, that's 2 ounces right there.
I've been doing,
Oh, well, by all means, do it the way you've been doing it.
and this makes sense because lately I'm like, man, I can only have 2 of those.
What math of a measuring device does 1.5 of something add up to 2?
The good thing is that I don't drive
know.
after I drink.
All right,
these.
well, this has a 2 ounce on
I see
the
that
label.
now. I
It
learn
has
something
a
every
2.
day.
So I'm going to go with just 2 ounces of Elijah Craig bourbon. Beautiful.
Okay, gorgeous.
Spill out a little bit for our buddies there.
It's okay.
What's next
All right.
step, Court?
Well, I like to go in and add my Amarena cherries. Again, I get these on Amazon. I'm actually just gonna do a hefty amount. And I like to include the cherry syrup.
How many cherries is that, Court? You want to tell the people? I just don't want anyone to
7.
mistake. Oh, 7.
It's the perfect number.
Okay.
It's God's number. God loves 7.
I don't want anyone to mistake, getting 1 too many or not enough.
Just mix it really
So
well.
7 is the magic number. Okay.
Please.
And a little bit of the syrup too, right?
I love the syrup in there. I feel like it adds so much.
Don't touch your cherry-filled
Well,
thing.
I'm trying. Fine. All right.
I subscribe to the line of thinking that I don't like to fruit my old fashioned. Cherries are good, and nothing against that. It's great for some people, usually 1 or 2. I mean, 7's probably just flat out excessive. But 1's great. You get a little bit of that extra sugar, more complexity, that's fine.
Either way, it's delicious.
I prefer to just save it for the orange peel, which I've never used this before. This is not our
time for
usual.
everything.
How does this?
Yeah.
Oh, no, maybe. Oh, wow. This does a pretty good job. We have a new fancy little orange peeler here, and that actually works. Excellent.
Perfectly.
So I took off. Oh, for you. Happy to help out. Okay.
Ladies first.
So what we're doing here is there's lots of actual flavorful oils here on the outside of the orange peel. So what we can do is, I know it seems crazy, but you actually just give it a little bit of twist.
You can see them spraying off of this actually
That's right.
as you're twisting it.
And at some bars, they'll actually have a lighter, and it'll actually kind of light on fire, and you can see how much is actually there. Once we've done that, I like to take it and kind of fold it over the edge of the glass here. And what that's going to do is going to make it, every time you bring that glass to your nose,
So good.
you're going to get all that orange scent onto your nose, so it's going to help it. It's just going to make it more complex, more enjoyable.
Fabulous.
I like to drop the orange peel in here without cherries.
It's pretty perfect though. I'm telling you.
You can see the color difference. Cheers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
that's good. That's really good.
this is better, but it's fine.
I'll put both his and hers recipe in my caption. If you like yours, very cherry forward, follow my recipe. If you are a purist, old-fashioned lover, follow Chris's recipe. Again, everything's gonna be linked. I hope that you enjoyed this. You gotta go make it. It's really, really delicious. And as always, please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here, taste this. Taste it.